Hey y'all, so I wanted to pop on briefly today and share something with you that I have become conscious of, and it's a part of conditioning that can happen to you based on your life experiences. So what I want to talk about is over explaining. And I used to just think it was being long-winded, and I have, family and friends that do this as well, where it's like they start with a story and they go all around the world to make their point, and then it's like, where was I? And but it's, the details are just incredible, and sometimes you can, get into those details, and then once you get over here trying to explain your point, then it's all a conscious process, you know what I'm saying? But the underlying basis is you think that you need to share that level of details to make your point when you really don't. That's the point of what I'm saying. So so like I said, you start with your story, and then you have this thought like, I better explain, and so you start going into the explanation, the details of the why and the how and everything. And then once you get into those details, then that just opens the door for, let me explain these details. And then it just becomes this big, confusing mess. And what I'm going to look at is why. Why would you do that? So what can happen with conditioning resulting in over-explaining is this. A lot of times people go through experiences, whether in childhood or maybe many years in their adulthood, where they don't feel understood. And maybe, they've experienced how frustrating and complicated things can be to not be understood or to be consistently misunderstood. And so, it's almost like this subconscious program has been written. Sorry, somebody's backing up and they're so close. It kind of scared me in this parking lot here. But it's almost like they went through the experiences of the results of just trying to be, short and direct in their conversation, and these experiences were bad, and so it winds up, if you have enough of these experiences, consistently, it winds up sending a message to this person, if it's you or whoever's experiencing this, that, well, you're not being understood. You need to over explain. You need to do this. And so here's where narcissism comes into this, okay? You've heard people talk about narcissists intentionally misunderstanding you. It's just another power tactic, just another way to just be a puppet and play with you for entertainment, for to make you doubt yourself, to make that programming be written within yourself, to continue this struggle, internal struggle that you carry forward, over explaining to everybody now, when in reality, it may have just been this primary person in your life, somebody that you spend a lot of time with, or growing up, when you're in your household with a particular parent or sibling or whatever it is. So that's the result. So you have to, as you're coming into the awareness of narcissism and all the different tactics they use to try and stay, in power over you and keep you down here, that's just another tactic. Just never acting like they never really get you, and so making you repeat yourself, making you explain yourself, and then even when you do that, they still don't get it, because here's the thing: if they never acknowledge that they understand your point, then it's kind of like it gives them an out to continue down a path. Like, let's say there's a spouse situation, okay, where there's different things in life where you're going to have to talk through, because you're sharing, your lives, and sharing a household or whatnot, and there's certain things where you're going to need to talk and agree on something. And if this person never wants to give you that authority and that power, then if you have valid input, they're going to be like, I just don't really get what you're saying, but how about this? And so it just keeps them in that position of power. Does that make sense? So just try to notice this quality in yourself. It's been something that I've dealt with, and you know, it really came about fully into my consciousness through doing my YouTube channel, because you know, it's really important to me when I'm doing here with you all, and I really don't want to be misunderstood. The ways I have been able to recognize that somebody was intentionally misunderstanding me is because in one person, if you really pay attention, and see, you're not going to pay attention unless you think it's a possibility that they are doing this on purpose, you know, because if it's somebody that you care about, a family member, for example, that thought's probably never going to cross your mind, you know, until you become aware of narcissism. You're never going to consider that they would be that cruel, you know. But once you become aware, then you can, it opens up like a new lens to look through, and then you can start to recognize this stuff. So like in one person, I've been able to detect that they derive pleasure. It's like entertainment for them. And so if you look really close and you notice they consistently misunderstand you, you may catch what they call micro expressions, where they may grin a little bit, you know, just maybe like one corner, or just a flash, you know, that comes across their face of delight. What do they call it? I think they call it duper's delight. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Like they're pulling one over on you. And so look for that. And the other way that you can know somebody's doing this on purpose, they're misunderstanding you on purpose, is because if you don't have this problem with anybody else, and yet this particular person always misunderstands you, then you have to know the problem isn't you. Okay, that's the first step. Now you may still try to make excuses for them and say, well, they just can't understand. But if you observe this person further and you see that they don't have this problem with anybody else, only you, and it's just really all about paying close attention. And you're not going to do that to even know to look for these things unless you're aware of narcissism. So I hope this helps. And I just think that rewiring our brains after being conditioned from being entangled with narcissistic individuals is just an advanced stage of healing for us, so that we can move forward and thrive in our life. So thank you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.